Namaste, namaste, family of light. We are on Facebook Live for our preview and chat as people are getting on the Zoom call to have our anchoring light uh, transmission meditation. And the reason why we say transmission meditation is not just a meditation, it is actually a transmission from higher frequencies of light into our sacred space wherever we are. And we meditate, you could say, well, a lot of meditation is interdimensional, but we are specifically very interdimensional and aware of that as we do this meditation, because messages comes through, but beyond messages, we work together to do various different things related to the earth and beyond alert. So it's like a transmission from the higher realms of light that work with us who are the boots on the ground. So there is something I want to chat about, and we usually do this before an anchoring light. And it's come up kind of recently and several times, but it's something that happens to all of us at some point in time and may happen more than one time. And that's what I'm going to call the dark night of the soul. There are certain times when people may just say, you know what, you're on your spiritual path, you're doing everything that you want to do, but then you fall into this funk. And this funk can come in so many different ways, but a lot of the times is that there's a sense of as strong as you are, as committed as you are, as loving and caring as you are, as you want to hold and see the world a better place as you are in holding that vision, there are those times when it seems that life is just so hard, that things are just so difficult. And there are those times that you feel that you just want to withdraw from everything. And you start to question yourself, like, what am I doing anyway? Does this anything have relevance? What is the purpose? Why am I here? I'm so done. I just want to get out of this situation. And with that too can come where you just don't feel well physically. And because we're body, mind, and spirit, of course, it's physical, that's connected to the mental, that's connected to the emotional. And so there are times that, one is challenged, whether it's a spiritual awakening that's happening for the first time for someone, or somebody who's been very awakened for a long time, and then they're moving into another level of awareness that's shaking them up a bit, okay, where, there's hidden things of fear and despondency and all of the above. Okay. And so many people have called this the dark night of the soul. And what is going forward? I don't know all the answers regarding that, but I know part of it is that sometimes we have to move through. Okay. We are, what Jesus the Christ called in the Pistis Sophia, the mixture. The mixture. You have the light and the dark, the right and the left, the up and the down. And so it's all of these things. If you figure that you are part of a continuous cycle, that you have been here before in reincarnation, or that you come from some other planetary system and are here, whichever the case may be, the universe is the same way. It is a mixture. And so sometimes to break through, like, to get to the other side of a mountain, sometimes that's going to require you to just kind of persevere. You feel you're tired, you feel you can't make it, you feel that's it. To break through that, to get to the other side, to get to a new vista, a new horizon, new opportunities, new miracles. Okay, but you have to go through that process. And let's just face it, for those, everybody on earth, but most certainly for light workers, specifically for light workers, it does entail, sacrifice and courage. Absolutely. Absolutely. This walk and this path is not for the faint of heart at all. And it's going to require you, but it's a blessing in disguise to reach into parts of yourself that you don't even know exist until you had to use it, until you had to draw on those parts of yourself. And so what I'd like to say for all of us, when that does happen, because it will happen, absolutely 100% it will happen if it hasn't happened already. It may happen more than one time. But as you go through this, as you go through the challenges, as you go through the self-doubt, as you go through saying, I just can't do this, as you feel that you want to give up, and all the above, okay, the sense of despondency, the sense of despair, these are real feelings. And this is what I say, if you are going through it, if you know somebody who's going through it, you just simply say, this too shall pass. This is spoken of in all ancient scriptures, that we go into cycles and things can pass and move forward to get to the other side of things. So we want to go ahead and talk about what it is and the resources we have. Okay, and the resources we have, okay, is always, and I mentioned this to a dear friend of mine, the resurrection or the rising phoenix. Always remember that. Okay, and there are times that, hey, it's okay just to rest. Okay, it's just to say, I don't know what's going on, and that's okay. But you have to remember the resurrection. You have to remember the rising phoenix, because that's always available to you. And the other part that's really, really, really important, because I know a lot of people feel, I'm doing this by myself. This is only happening to me. Everybody else has looked at, they're thriving and moving forward. Not true. Not true. All that glitters is not gold. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Okay. And so usually the most hardest thing that I have found is when you think that stuff is only happening to you. That's the hardest part. Okay. And it's not. It happens to everybody, because we are one collective. We are one humanity. And so what we do is we hold the light for ourselves and hold the light for others. That's why we are a tribe. When somebody feels weakened or not as strong, somebody helps to pick up that side for that person, and vice versa, and vice versa. That's why being part of a tribe is so positive. Yes, there's those places where you go on top of a mountain and you meditate, but you don't meditate there forever. It's to get into the mixture of things. It is to come into the group. And when we come into the group becomes that much stronger for each of its participants. You draw from the energy of the group. Okay, where you couldn't draw on it individually or even one or two people. It's the group that helps to raise that dynamic, that everybody benefits from that. So all I want to say is that when we find those times of doubt, when you think that, oh, I don't know, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What is this all about? Simply breathe and know that that too shall pass. That too shall pass. And that resurrection power, that power of the rising phoenix, is innate in our DNA. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with everybody. I want to wish everybody in the United States, we have Labor Day. So Labor Day is, I will say this, for your labors. Let me just leave with this. And we can't put time frames on things. Now, when we work on a higher interdimensional level, we can't put time frames. Time and space is a construct in this physical reality, but we talk, and what we're involved in is beyond time and space. And so that's why you also have to release, because timing may not be the timing that you think. And one thing we do know, as you sow, you shall reap. But that doesn't mean you're gonna say, oh, I've done this and I'm gonna be rewarded next week or next year or whatever. We don't know that. You just do it lovingly and allow the universe to bring back to you the gifts, okay, that you absolutely will receive. Karma is real. So if you put in positive, supportive, caring, loving, that's going to come back to you. And it'll come back to you in ways that you may not even recognize at first. Sometimes you have to look back. It takes history to see the blessing that you got, because you couldn't even recognize it in the moment. So what you have to do is just hold on with the faith to know that in the end, all things work for good for those who love God. It always does. And the labor that you put in, a labor of love, that sacrifice that I talked about, that everybody on the path, it requires sacrifice and it requires courage. It really does. But when you get to the other side of it, it is so worth the journey. It is so worth the journey. And the blessings are beyond measure, what we can't even fathom or think about now. how glorious and wonderful the true blessings that come to us. So in those times of struggle, okay, just keep the faith, as they say. I'll see you next time. Namaste.